Hi everyone, this is your reading for Tuesday the 23rd of January. Thanks for joining me. I'm using the Osho Zen deck again, which I haven't used in ages, and it's a beautiful deck. What's funny about it, I saw this Louis Theroux documentary, and he goes and sees someone who did Osho meditation. You know, Osho was this kind of guru in, I think it was in the 80s, and he became very notorious because he had this fleet of Rolls Royces that he used to drive around in. And I think he talked a lot of sense. I thought he was good, but there were things that were just a bit odd, like the meditation technique he developed. It was very physical, and you had to like scream your lungs out. And there's a Louis Theroux episode. He's this BBC journalist. There's an episode where it's demonstrated, and it looks crazy. I mean, it just looks so ridiculous and exhausting. But Osho, loads of good ideas, loads of great insights. Now, what we've got today here is we've got maturity, which is the world. And then we've got past lives, this hourglass here. And then finally we have conditioning. We've got this lion tied up, and he's surrounded by sheep, and he's supposed to become a sheep, and he's not happy about it. Okay, so he's being conditioned to fit in and to conform, and he's really like, no, this is not happening. So first of all, maturity is really coming to grips, you know, going through the seasons. What I love about this picture here is it's so beautiful with all the flowers and everything, but it really is evocative of the season. So we've got spring and summer, and then we've got autumn and winter kind of thing. And, you know, if you've been around for a while, you get to know the rhythm of life. You get to see who you are, even if you're not some enlightened being like none of us are. Then after a while, you know, if you've been around for a little bit, you do mature, you do tend to get with the program a little bit, and you tend to see what you're about and how your own behavior kind of influences you in the world and how the world responds to you and all of those things. So you really have a great insight into who you are in this lifetime, and you come to terms with that, and you come to a place of peace with it. But not only that, you can see the beauty in who you are. So often, you know, we don't want to look at ourselves and do a personal inventory because we're afraid of what we might find, you know, all the unpleasant characteristics, the selfishness and the inflexibility and all of that stuff. And none of us are perfect, but also I think real maturity comes when you're able to be honest with yourself about the flaws, but not kind of destroy yourself in the process and say, oh my God, I'm such a terrible person, because there are also amazing, wonderful, beautiful things about you that are unique. Every person, I feel, has this spark of the divine in them, and they just have a different way of expressing that divinity. So you are filled with all of this beauty, and real maturity is seeing the light and the dark and coming to a place of contentment and acceptance with that, and saying, yes, I am who I am, and that's okay, and that's beautiful, and I'm satisfied with who I am. Now, the insight and the maturity kind of deepens because you become aware of past lives, and you become aware of, and I really think that, you know, we have had a lot of past lives, most of us, at this stage of human development and at this stage of where the world is at. So I really think this is one person who has been in all these different incarnations and has come out the other side with lots of different incarnations. And what is interesting is that you tap into that and you see that today. So doing a past life regression is a really good idea. And you can do that informally or formally. So informally, you can do the one on my website, or you can do one on YouTube, or you can go see a professional past life regressionist, a hypnotherapist. It's all the same thing, really. It's just counting you down from 10 to 1, so you get out of the alpha kind of brain state, which is your conscious way of thinking, and that you get down to, I think it's delta or theta. It's a different brainwave frequency where you're more connected with the subconscious, and then you can direct your mind and say, take me to this past life, or show me where I was in a past life. So you can do that yourself or with guidance. But what both of these things are doing is that you really get to know who you are. You know, you're mature enough to have weathered the seasons, and you're like, well, this is what I'm about, and this is what I'm good at, this is what I'm not good at, this is what is acceptable to me, or has been acceptable to me in the past, this is what isn't acceptable to me. Add the past life elements to that, and it's like, you know, I'm an important being. I've learned a lot. I'm not just someone you can dismiss and discard. And what that says here finally with the conditioning is that you have all this knowledge, you realize that you're this lion, a lion representing power and being a leader. You know, the big lion with its mane is the king of that herd or tribe, you know. It's like Simba had his like lionesses who hunted for him, and then the kids and everything. He's a leader, he's in charge, he's in the spotlight. And what this poor thing is being forced to, I mean, they're very pretty, these sheep, and they've all got beautiful eyelashes, and they're very fuzzy and nice. But a lion is never going to be a sheep, no matter how hard he tries. And the same thing applies to you today. You're a lion, and you're never going to be this conformist, normal, unenlightened being, because you're waking up today. So it's really important to not, one, let other people chip away at that. And if you're in any situation where you have a choice, it's like, okay, I can either align myself with what's going on and what's expected of me and what's demanded of me via other people, and I can put my own needs aside and become a sheep. Or, and this is saying something, or I can choose the more unpleasant path, which is saying, hang on a minute, you all think I should be doing this, but that doesn't sit right with me. It goes against my values, it's against my beliefs. And it just so happens that, for instance, I'm in a situation where it's 1 against 20. But I know myself, I know where I've come from, I know where I want to go, and I'm going to stand up for what I believe in, and I'm going to go and find my own tribe of other lions to hang out with, because you sheep are not my people. I'm a lion, and I don't want to conform to this. So that takes courage, and that is unpleasant, because you have to offend all the sheep. And it's much more helpful in the long run, because then you go off on your own and you find your own tribe, and you hang out with people who are more like you. So the message here today is to really stand in your truth and stand in your power. And no matter how much peer pressure there is, or how much pressure is on you to kind of conform and to do as you're told, you know better than that by now. You see yourself for who you are. And it's not about, you know, grandiosity or arrogance or being a megalomaniac. It's about really just standing up for yourself and saying, actually, that's not who I am. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're speaking your truth, and you're mature enough now to do that, to resist the conditioning, and to really be your own individual true self, and to really benefit from doing that. So it's interesting, because in this deck, they have changed the numbers around. So I'm going to count, there's no number here, so I'm going to count this as a 1. Then we've got 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 and 1 is 19. And 15 is 34, I think. Yeah, 34. So let me just double check. Sorry, guys. 15 and 1 is 16. And then what was this? 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, 34. So 3 and 4 is 7, and 7 is mind and creativity. So think for yourself, be creative in terms of who you are, tap into your own fire, and don't just pull a sad face and put up with it and complain about it, but instead say, I'm not doing it, I'm going to be myself and go gallop off and, you know, go be Simba somewhere and roar and stand in your power. Much more helpful on this day. So I hope you have a great time. It looks like an amazingly liberating day. I'm certainly going to wow, I'm going to, you know, not hold back. It's going to be amazing. So I hope you have a great day. If you'd like a private reading with me, then please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. And just click on the readings tab to order a reading with me. Or if you go to the website, on the front page as well, there's a book your reading button. Just click on that. If you like these videos, then please subscribe to the channel. I'd be ever so grateful. And I'll speak to you tomorrow.